What's going on, 49er faithful? It's your boy, Breezie, and the San Francisco 49ers just go to and oh, that's right, back-to-back victories on the road. The 49ers are officially road warriors as we speak. They just got the dub in the Big Easy over the New Orleans Saints, 26-21. What a great game. Up and down, back and forth. You got to watch the offense that I thought came through on today. The defense gave up a little bit more than what I expected. We'll talk about some of that on today's episode. But the San Francisco 49ers nonetheless got the victory. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. And that's what I like to, you know what? I was a little bit worried with Brock not playing. I didn't think that the Niners would put up 26 points. Let me be honest. I didn't think that the Niners offense was going to be able to do that. It would happen after they got that fumble recovery. Fred Warner forced a fumble on Alvin Kamara, and the Niners offense took it, ran with it, and they cooked all the way to the very end of the game. The San Francisco 49ers did look good out there. And just overall as a team, you know, I thought they played their heart out. They played their hearts out, literally. You watch Kellen Moore and his Saints offense really attack the weaknesses on the 49ers defense. They went after the young guys several times, whether it was the rookies or second-year players. He knew what he was doing. I will say that he had a game plan, and he knew what he was doing. Kellen Moore was definitely trying to take advantage of that. But the Niners came out after the first stall, the first drive. They found a way to get into a rhythm. And one of the keys to the San Francisco 49ers offense is just playing rhythm-style football. Shout out to Peachy48, PGC48 in the building. Let's go 2-0. What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon, right? One of our earliest games of the season. We're used to playing, and doing this show around the 7:30 mark, but it is dumb early. It's 4 o'clock, 4:21 to be exact, on the East Coast. Jax Knox in the building saying, let's go, baby. 2-0, and happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Jack Knox. Happy birthday to Jack Knox. The Niners got a dub on your birthday, so your birthday should be a little extra special. You know what I'm saying? You could celebrate a team victory and your birthday at the same time. That's got to be a great feeling. My birthday is not until January, and it's around playoff time where the stakes is high. And so, getting a win around your birthday, there is no feeling like it, especially during the playoffs, But again, happy birthday to Jack out there watching on the live stream. Look, key players, we're going to get into some of that. Tomorrow I'll be doing a quick good, bad, and ugly film right here on Bleacher Report, so make sure you check that out on Monday. But some key team stats, right? Key team stats. This is something I want to talk about. 344 offensive yards, almost matched, kind of like what they did last week. Last week they had about 40 plus more yards. I think they were like 386, I think, last week with Brock Purdy in there. But overall, I loved what I saw from Mac Jones and the offense. A really good balanced game for the San Francisco 49ers. And when you look at what the 49ers did, they averaged about 5.1 yards per play. But offensively, passing-wise, Mac Jones was 26 for 39, 267 yards. Sounds like Brock Purdy, right? Those are the Brock Purdy stats that we're used to seeing. 6.8 yards per attempt, a little bit less than what Brock would normally do. Not that I'm comparing the two. I want these guys to go out there and play their brass football. You saw Mac Jones take a lot of deep shots down the football field and missed a lot of gimmies. Had a few players with some drops. Not going to lie, a few of his players dropped some passes. We'll talk about that as well, something they need to clean up. Maybe that'll go in, part of the bad or the ugly. Other than that, Mac Jones, 0 interceptions. Did have the fumble, though. There was a fumble. Now, my only concern with Mac Jones is that he holds the ball a little extra longer than what I would like, right? A little extra longer than I would like. I know he's looking for the big play down the football field, but on that fumble, a lot of people are going to credit Colt McKivitz gave up the pressure. Yes, he did. But Mac Jones had ample, in my opinion, he had ample amount of time to kind of like do something with the football. Even if he stepped up in the pocket, I think one of Mac Jones' downfalls is he has no pocket awareness, right? He had no pocket awareness when that pocket was collapsing. That's what that means, to where he could have stepped up, maybe made a play on his feet, bought himself an extra second or two, but then you get the fumble from their defensive player. Who's the defensive player that got the fumble on Brock Purdy? Was it Chris Rumph? Chris Rumph, I believe, got that fumble on Brock Purdy, which was a big play because the Saints were able to score a touchdown off of that turnover. So turnovers were even. That's the crazy thing, because I was like, oh man, if you lose a turnover battle, you lose the game. So that made me a little bit nervous. But then the Niners, they evened it out straight up. Fred Warner, just his hustle, his flow, his play, phenomenal. But again, back to Mac Jones, 3 passing touchdowns right here. And you got to give that credit, because Brock Purdy didn't even throw 3 passing touchdowns, even though the Seattle Seahawks defense is a lot different. I still do respect the Brandon Staley style of defense. They were trying to get after Brock. They were trying to get after Mac Jones, but he was able to get into that red zone and do his thing. Speaking of red zone, sound the alarm, because that to me is where I really, really, truly love the San Francisco 49ers. They got to the red zone. This is one of the stats that I talk about every single week. What do you do when you get to the red zone? Last week against the Seattle Seahawks, they went 2 for 5, 40% in the red zone. This week, they got to the red zone 2 times and got 2 touchdowns out of it. Luke Farrell got your touchdown. Christian McCaffrey got a touchdown in the red zone, right? All passing receiving touchdowns for the San Francisco 49ers. So the Niners definitely improved in the red zone, and that's what you like to see. You love to see what they can do and how well will they execute. He had 2 tight end sets on that play. The Luke Farrell touchdown, you get the good block from Jake Tonjes out there, and it releases and opens up a Luke Farrell's first career touchdown, or first NFL touchdown, with the San Francisco 49ers. All right, so the 49ers in back-to-back games, their second and third tier string tight ends have produced points. Keep a note of that. Week 1, Jake Tonjes. Week 2, Luke Farrell. Week 3 at home, maybe to be Braden Willis. Braden Willis did have a target in this game for sure. Offense, that's key. They went 8 for 15 on third down. That's something that the offense has to work on. But over 50%, I could dig with it. It was a little bit over 50%. Last week, they were 7 for 14. This week, they were 8 for 15 on third down. Got to be better on third down. Got to keep themselves out of those third and long situations. You get a penalty. Next thing you know, it's 3rd and 13. The Niners got to figure out how to keep themselves, stop shooting themselves in the foot. That's something, and I'll probably break that down in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Defensively, what do you want from Robert Saleh's defense? What more do you want? What more can you ask for from a Robert Saleh's defense? Before I get into the individual players, I just thought that the defense was flying all across the football field, and they were making tackles until they started missing. A lot of missed tackles in this game. And when you're looking at certain players, there's some players that you can't just big hit. Those players will bounce off of you. A couple of players, for example, Alvin Kamara, running back. You can't hit stick him. All right. Juwan Johnson, the tight end. You can't hit stick him. You can't hit stick Juwan Jennings neither, but that's why I said his name. But Juwan Johnson, you can't hit stick those guys. You have to wrap and tackle. I can't wait to see how many missed tackles were credited to the San Francisco 49ers defense. But overall, I thought the defense was solid. The area that they have to work on, I don't even want to talk about it. I just don't. I don't want to really talk about where they need to work on, but some good coverage plays. Got beat, you know what I mean? Got beat on some plays, some good coverage plays. But defensively, the 49ers, I thought they had a pretty decent game out there. They definitely got to work on third down. I mean, I didn't want to talk about third down, but they got to be better on third down. They have to be better on third down. They just have to be better. Now, to credit the defense, there were 3 sacks. They had 3 sacks in this game, all right, for 27 yards. 3 sacks in this game for 27 yards. Man, come on, man. Give that 3 sacks for 27 yards. Talk about a guy that got sacked once in week 1, 3 sacks for 27, and I liked it. I like what I saw from the sacks. You got the Nick Bosa sack, kind of like to seal the deal. You had, these guys were just around trying their damnness and hardest to rattle the rattler. They just truly did. 2 forced fumbles. All right, 2 forced fumbles. You saw the one by Fred Warner. That was the one that the Niners recovered. The one to seal the deal at the end of the game was a forced fumble, but it was on a 4th down. The Niners didn't recover, but it was a turnover and downs. So the Niners did get the ball back to run the clock out. So 2 forced fumbles in this game, 1 recovered from the San Francisco 49ers, 45 solo tackles. Here's the number that I love. You ready? Ring my bell. 7 tackles for loss. These is getting better. Now, on my Patreon, www.patreon.com/the WayneBreezie, I actually do the plays where I go over the positive and negative plays. I call them boom and bust plays. So if you want to check out some of that footage, check it out on my Patreon. You can see that video. But as I was writing and making my notes, I was like, man, the defense was lights out until they started missing tackles and getting penalties. I thought the defense played really well. And if you really want to know what aided some of those Saints points, were penalties. The Niners only had 5 penalties in this game, but a lot of them came on the defensive side in the second half. I think they went the whole first half with 0 penalties. And then they kicked off the second half with the penalty, and then it was Flag City ever since then. Let me get to a couple of comments in here over the chat. Jack says, gritty games matter. Jax, especially on the road. I wanted to tie into that, especially on the road. You have to win on the road. You have to, by any means necessary. You're not going to always get a sweet victory. Sometimes you just got to grind it out. You got to grind it out. Now, before I move on to some of the individual players and their highlights, a couple of players did get injured for the San Francisco 49ers. They did end up going into the concussion protocol. Fullback Kyle Juszczyk ended up going with the concussion, and he was ruled out for the game. I believe Saron Neal also went into the tent for the concussion, and I don't think he returned to the game. Saron Neal, the DB for the San Francisco 49ers. So I know those 2 players, at least those 2 players, didn't play much in this particular matchup due to the injury. So we'll keep you monitored right here on Bleacher Report on their injuries and things like that, and see, their status moving forward as they head home to host the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Arizona Cardinals are coming into town. Yeah, baby. Arizona Cardinals coming into town. I love it. So individually, love what I saw from some of the 49ers players. And I loved, offensively, defensively, and we'll break down some players for sure. Jack says we definitely went over 3 missed tackles. Peachy says, I thought the O-line did a pretty good job. They did. And I can't wait to watch the film. Because I on the live feed, I felt like the offensive line didn't give up that sack, that fumble. I don't believe that, but everybody kept saying McKivitz, and you're trashing McKivitz because he got paid and blah, 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 whatever. He got the extension and he's getting paid tackle 1 money, whatever. I'm like, he's really not. And number two, I just didn't think that was on Colton McKivitz. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Once I look at the pressures and things like that. Jeezy, Mac and O line came to play. Yeah, I thought the O line, like Peachy said earlier, I thought the O line looked pretty good. I did. I know Mac was sacked a few times in this game. He was sacked 3 times as well, so 3 sacks for both teams. Some of them were on him though. You got to get rid of the ball. Teams. Let me just explain to you what defenses are going to do. Defenses are going to do two things. Number one, they're going to stack the box and force you to throw the ball because they want to be able to eliminate the run from the San Francisco 49ers. That's what they want to do. They want to make the 49ers one-dimensional and then put the ball in the quarterback's hands for him to make the plays, to make the right reads, to make all the decisions, the right decisions, and things like that. A lot of teams do that, especially because of the Niners. You can watch any other football and you'll see cushion and none of that crap. No 11-man, 8-man, 9-man, 10-man boxes. Teams can still run. You'll see the linebackers playing 15 yards off where they normally line up, and it's just a hole for the running backs to get to if the linebackers are nowhere near. You'll see that, but when it comes to the Niners, man, teams are playing 8-man in the box, 9-man in the box, and it's just like, dang, we dare you. And what they're saying is, we dare you to run it on us. That's what they're saying. We dare you. We double dog dare you to run the ball on us. There was times the Niners ran through the teeth of the defense, and I liked it. Couple of explosive plays from Christian McCaffrey on the ground, which I thought was pretty dang solid. Let's get to some of these players. Again, Mac Jones, 26 for 39, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the fumble, which was the 1 turnover. He finished with a 113.1 rating in this game, if you guys pay attention to those particular types of stats. He wasn't graded well because he did make some mistakes. So I can tell that, when his grade comes out per PFF, it's probably going to be relatively low. But he helped his team seal the deal and win and get a victory. So I'll take that. Backup quarterback gets a victory for the team on the road. Sign me up, Scotty. I'm ready to go. Mac Jones did rush 6 times. He has 6 rushing yards. He had that one rushing play for 13 yards, though. That play is, I wanted more of that. People told me Mac Jones couldn't run. And I'm like, what Mac Jones do y'all remember? Maybe y'all just talking about the Mac Jones in the NFL. But when I go back to Alabama, I thought Mac Jones ran fine. He moved. Mac Jones looked pretty damn good in my opinion. And so, I don't know if he was player of the game. I'm going to ask you guys to put your player of the game in the live chat. Prometheus 23, Mac. That's right. You know how Mac come through on the club tip. You get what I'm saying? JGZ, illegal contact on Stout. Better not discourage him. I don't think it did. And it's because in another play, he made a play. So I don't think that that's going to discourage him just one bit. I think he has the perfect coaches to coach him up. And, he got picked on tonight. And I think he's going to, if he has the same mindset that I have, if I'm out there, I look at every game as a performance test, right? So you prepare for it, you practice, you rehearse, you do whatever you got to do to get ready for that game. So when you play in that game, it's a performance test. That's how I'm looking at stuff. Now, how well you play in the game, well, that's kind of up to you. Did you eat the right food? Did you get the proper sleep? All that type of stuff, right? So when the Niners go out there and they perform and they do well, I mean, they pass the test. These players are passing tests. There's some things on the test that they may still get wrong. And that's okay. Those are the things that they need to go and practice a little bit more. I thought the Niners came out and did a pretty good job in this 26-21 victory. So you could look at it like that or however you choose to look at it. But for me, I think the Niners, I don't think that particular play is going to hinder Upton Stout because I felt like he still remained in the game and he found ways to overcome that by making positive plays. There was times you saw him making tackles in the backfield. So definitely love what I saw from Upton Stout. Jack Knox says, Wayne, once these rookies get it together, they're going to feast. Yeah, Yep. They you can tell Michael Williams with 2 tackles for a loss in this game. There was a play Michael Williams, he didn't set the edge, but he had enough speed to force the ball to the edge and make the tackle pretty much out of bounds, or have somebody make the tackle. Either way, I like what I saw from Michael Williams. There was also there was a monstrous pressure from Alfred Collins. Like Alfred Collins, it was like he just burst through the Saints offensive line, burst through it, right through it, had the hands in the face. Rattler still got the pass off, but I don't think it was for plus much of anything. Let's go rushing. Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries. Listen, and we talked about Kyle changing up the carries. Christian McCaffrey had a little bit more last week. Brian Robinson had 6 carries in this game. Ricky Pearsall had 1. They tried a little, wide receiver action reverse out of the backfield. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. But again, Christian McCaffrey, he led the team in rushing, 13 carries, 55 yards. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry, a little bit more than he was averaging last week. And he had 1 explosive run for 10 yards. So that was his longest explosive run. The Niners were finally getting a great push up front. And to me, that's how I'm judging the offensive line. I believe that the offensive line can pass protect, but can they run block? And I can't wait to see how it comes down to the run blocking. All right. That's what I can't wait to see. Peachy says, if Mac is out there next week, he has to get that ball out quicker. Yeah, he can't be indecisive. I feel like when a quarterback is holding the ball, 2 things are happening. One, he's literally waiting for the play to develop. He wants to take the shot down the football field. Mac Jones has an arm. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it 100. He has a cannon for an arm. So Mac is literally trying to move that ball down the football field, but the play isn't there yet. And that's one of the things I feel like I need to see Mac Jones improve on. We're seeing it from Brock Purdy as of recently, but if Mac is going to be out here starting, we need to see that from Mac Jones. And if he's going to start next week against the Cardinals, who knows? Because the reports came out. It was the weirdest tweet that came out earlier today. It was like the 49ers are pessimistic about Brock playing this week, opposed to being optimistic, and I'm optimistic opposed to being pessimistic. So I'm just like, it doesn't really sound like it's that severe of an injury, but it can be that severe of an injury. So we'll see. The cool thing is, I thought Mac Jones did what we needed to do to win, and he helped put more points up. So he brought up the scoring average for the San Francisco 49ers. Just to put that out there. Jay Jeezy, Mac will 90% be out there. Got settled, looked pretty good in decision-making. Some rollouts got collapsed quick, and he was he was able to find tongues on Tongas or born low under pounds quickly. I read everything you said. I got what you're saying. Yo, Mac looked good out there. He did. Once he got unrattled and settled, that's when you started to see Mac in the efficient throws. But he also took the shots down the field. And if he can connect on those shots, you saw how strong his arm is. You had Ricky Pearsall like running full speed and the ball still like 5 yards in front of him. Just imagine once that timing is fixed and Mac is able to take them shots down the football field. It's going to be electric, boogie, woogie, woogie. I can tell you that right now. I can't believe what I'm watching right now. All right, so I thought Mac definitely did his thing. Niner Man 38 says he did his thing. Mac J played damn good. I knew he would ball out for sure. I mean, and like I said, Mac was crazy. Offensively, receiving. Christian McCaffrey still 7 targets, 6 receptions, 52 yards. Juwan Jennings led all the receivers today with 10 targets, 5 receptions. That's 50%. A couple of those plays he dropped. Let's just keep it a buck. We got to keep stuff 100 here. He did drop a couple of passes, but he did finish with 89 yards. 89 yards. So 5 for 89. But he was targeted the most. He also averaged 17.8 yards per reception and a touchdown. So, Jawan Jennings slowly but surely getting reacclimated to 49ers football. Did leave the game limping. I'm a little concerned about that, so I'm sure he's going to pop up on the injury report again. It didn't look like it was from the shoulder because he was limping. So, if you have a limp from a shoulder injury, I kind of gotta. I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I don't know. But he did come back in the game. He had the most explosive play, the 42-yard play down the football field where he broke a couple of tackles. Jawan Jennings is still the dog out there on the football field, and I think everybody knows it for sure. Luke Farrell targeted 3 times, 2 receptions, had the touchdown early. Ricky Pearsall, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 56 yards. So Ricky, okay game. They targeted him early because that's who was open. And he was going off early in the game. Tonjes, 5 targets, 4 receptions for him as well for 31 yards. But the return of Kendrick Bourne had a couple of big catches. 3 targets in this game, 3 receptions in this game. You gotta keep it wow, right? Great job, Kendrick Bourne. Let's give Kendrick Bourne a round of applause. I mean, coming off the streets. Yep, he's back in the Bay. And his number was called, and he performed. Can't ask for anything more. Kendrick Bourne, and then, Kyle Juszczyk had a catch. Brian Robinson Jr. had a catch. 2 targets that with no catches, MVS and Braden Willis. MVS and Braden Willis. They were targeted once, 0 catches for them. 49ers defensively were menaces to societies. Yep, I pluralized everything. I sure did, because I've never seen flyers fly. And I'm going to say this. I love me some Fred Warner. I think everybody knows that. That's my favorite player. I love me some Fred Warner. But that D Winters is looking better by the second. Every time he steps onto the football field, something great is bound to happen. Something great. Fred Warner, 11 tackles, 7 solos. So Fred Warner led the game with tackles, 11 tackles, 7 solo in this game. 1 tackle for a loss and the forced fumble and a pass deflection. Fred Warner was the man. 1,000%. Fred Warner was the man. Second, Nick Bosa, 9 tackles in this game. 3 of them were solos. He did have the tackle for a loss. And then we got to talk about D Winters, 8 tackles, 6 solos. So 2 of them were assisted in this game. He was flying across the football field. A little bit concerned about the 49ers young secondary. I felt like Kellen Moore and that Saints the offense were just trying to pick on the secondary. I know they didn't really, they barely tested Demo, but still, like, they definitely picked on Renardo Green, who just seemed to get beat on every play. Like, it's just what it was. Upton Stout was getting beat. Marquise Siegel, they were getting beat. The matchup is crazy. Siegel really got his first taste of what it's like to cover a big tight end. He had to break it somewhere. He had to break in somewhere, and that's where he broke in. So, they took advantage of him. I think a couple of big passes from Jawan Jennings over Siegel. Definitely their receivers were getting the best of Stout as well. But look, these are young rookies, so I'm expecting the growing pains. Couple of things they got to clean up, though, just to be better, because the Niners got to be better. They have to be the best team on the football field, and in order to do that, it's not about scoring a lot of points offensively or stopping teams from scoring defensively. It's about playing, sound mind football. They got to find a way to eliminate some of those penalties. And the biggest bonehead penalty, and this is going to be on my ugly segment. I was trying to figure out what would be on my ugly segment. I was going to put our new kicker, Eddie Piñeiro, missing the extra point to come out here and start his season with the Niners. But then he knocked down 2 40-plus yard field goals. I'm like, I'm not talking about Eddie P. Like, bump that extra point, man. That extra point. Like, that was just the extra point. Even though we would have been 27-21, but he kicked 2 field goals through the uprights, right down the middle. He gets love from me. Shout out to Eddie P. They call him Eddie De Niro. We used to call Jake Moody Jake Money when he made it. So De Niro, Money, I get it. I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? I could dig it. You know, what was your favorite De Niro film? You know what? It's not that podcast. My bad. See, I can go off tangent because I love everything. But yeah, so Eddie P came in, did his job well. I'm sure they're gonna ask him what happened on that extra point. We'll get a little explanation. Maybe they'll interview him and we'll find out like what was he thinking. But another bonehead play I was talking about was that 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty on D Winters, and I'll end on this. You know, the Niners were able to escape New Orleans with the victory, but the Niners could have won this game a lot more in confidence. Their defense started getting called for these penalties, and that D Winters penalty just flashed a little bit of Dre Greenlaw to me. I had a quick flashback. Now, he's not as physical as Dre. Dre was kind of like a bully. D Winters is just a speed guy, but that push that he had was uncalled for, and I'm hoping, you know, on his next route, whatever like that, you know, he kind of takes that out of the bag. There's no need if the quarterback's running out of bounds, just let up, because, you know, that could have cost the Niners field position, and it could have cost the Niners points. And if the Niners would have lost, it just would have went a totally different way. So for D Winters, the young guy, 3rd-year guy, he's got to be better at that. Control your emotions, control your whatever it is you're going through. Don't make those silly penalties, because the refs are going to already slow the game down with their penalty calls, right? You got the defensive holding. You had illegal hands to the face on Upton Stout. That had to be the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, why is Upton Stout getting called for incidental whatever contact before the 5 yards? And then it was a bang play. That was his best coverage snap all season. You cannot tell me that wasn't Upton Stout's best coverage coverage snap. That was beautiful coverage. Unfortunately, it got negated by the hands to the face. It's a weird penalty, but they called a couple against us, and boom. You know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. The Niners again are promising. I'm telling you. The good thing is they got the dub. The better thing is they return home to start their season off at home, but it's going to be against a division rival. So you got the Arizona Cardinals will be coming into town. We got a lot of stuff that we'll be breaking that down right here on Bleacher Report. Again, tomorrow, check out my recap. It's going to be called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, based off of what we saw from this game. So that means I got to rewatch the game, because there was some good, a lot of good. I don't want people to think, oh, the Niners won and you talking trash. Now, I'm not really talking trash. I'm just constructively criticizing them to where they can be better, just like a head coach would. Oh, yeah, we scored 97 points, but we should have scored 100. Like, you get what I'm saying? We could have scored 100 had we did this. So those are the things, those are the ways that I kind of like to look at certain things. What a win for the San Francisco 49ers. They are 2-0. Again, they're headed back to the Bay to hold it down in the Bay. Arizona Cardinals are coming into town. Oh, when those Saints go losing in. Oh, when those Saints go losing in. Oh, how I do not want to be in that number when the Saints go losing in. I'm your boy Breezie. See y'all next week. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.